So she likes to flirt with other guys. Okay. Except she's in a committed relationship. So is this considered cheating or not? He sure thinks so. Mo's got the email.
I found your podcast a while back, and I think you are all the perfect people to answer this question for me. Is flirting acceptable when you are in a long-term relationship? I've been dating my boyfriend for 2 years now, and from the very beginning, he's always been a flirt. He flirts with women everywhere we go. Servers, cashiers, even random strangers. He always claims he's, quote-unquote, just a friendly guy, and says the flirting helps him get discounts or better service. At first, I didn't think much of it. Maybe I thought it was harmless or just part of his personality. But lately, it's really started to bother me. I think I assumed he'd grow out of it or tone it down as we got more serious. But that hasn't happened. Now, I can't stand it. So again, is flirting ever okay when you're in a serious relationship? Something else I've considered. Since he's always been this way, is it even fair for me to ask him to change his behavior? Or is this an instance of you having to accept someone for who they are? I'd love to hear your thoughts and maybe your listeners' opinions too. Thanks.
I feel it's just disrespectful. Even if there's something on the line, like he's flirting and it's not going to go anywhere. They're not going to exchange numbers. He's just doing it because he get a freebie here or a freebie there. It just feels disrespectful to me. And if I was with a partner that needed to do that to get discounts and stuff like that, I don't know.
I wish I knew.
I wouldn't say cheating. It just feels icky.
I feel that he needs to be a little more self-reflective and do more of a deep dive in himself as to why he does that. I think he tells himself it's for discounts and better service because it justifies it. But I think he may be dealing with some self-esteem validation issues where he feels like by flirting and getting that interaction, it makes him feel better about himself. And that's a deeper discussion.
I completely agree. I had a friend back when I lived in Florida who was in a really long-term serious relationship. I mean, they were probably together for 5 or 6 years at this point when we had this conversation. And we were out at a bar and a guy started flirting with her. And I asked her, I was like, when that happens to you, like, how do you typically handle it? Because she didn't really outright flirt with him in front of me. And she goes, we have an agreement that like, as long as it's just flirting, it's no big deal. And I was like, oh, maybe that's really healthy. And then weirdly enough, as the years progressed and they're no longer together anymore, I sometimes wonder if maybe that was just a symptom of maybe some deeper problems in their relationship. That like, if you are really content in your relationship, why would you even really want to entertain anybody else?
So I'm trying to figure out here, I'm doing soul searching and see if there's a little double standard going on here. If my lady comes back and she says she goes to a bar with a bunch of her girlfriends, right? And she's talking to some dudes in order to get free drinks. I'm trying to figure out how my knee-jerk reaction is, that's cool. I mean, I know it's not going anywhere. And if these dudes are going to play the game, then go ahead and play the game. I 75% feel like that's true, but I also feel it's 25% icky for me.
That's why I wish I knew like the true details of what the flirting looks like, because I feel like flirting looks different for everybody.
Some people it's just being nice.
In my past, I've been in a relationship where I promise you I was just being nice. I was not going out my way to do anything extra, but she always felt like I was flirting out of just being nice, and I don't even think I know how to flirt. So I feel some people really are just really friendly people and they don't really intend to flirt. But if it's to the point where it's obvious that he's going out of his way to get discounts, then that's a problem in a relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I like to think I'm somewhat self-aware, and I acknowledge that being flirtatious is part of my personality. But I think I've evolved, and it's not so much anymore because I don't want to be disrespectful to my husband. But I also acknowledge that, and that's why I threw out, like, maybe he needs to do a little more introspective deep dive, because it was a total validation, self-esteem thing for me. But if you're doing that, if you're seeking that in your relationship, if you're seeking that and you're in a relationship, you really need to take a hard look at your relationship and what you're not getting out of your relationship, that you're finding fulfillment in flirting with somebody else. I have definitely evolved in this area. There's no doubt about it. I used to be like, I remember Cassie and I went to LA and we were being flirtatious with some guys because they sent us drinks over or whatever. And we saw absolutely no problem with it. And it was just like, a fun night. And I feel like the innocence of it, like the intent versus impact kind of thing now, like I stand by that. Like there was no intent to do anything scandalous. But if you're looking at your partner, you want to be respectful of your partner, and your partner has an issue with it, you need to do something about it.
For sure.
The Bert Show.